My children now.
Oh, you're so cool, Brewster.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
You won and I died.
I'm feeling woozy, yeah. They're coming to get you, Barbara.
How's it hanging, Phil?
From the front time, yes.
Come and get it!
So either put the gun down now or kiss your ass goodbye.
Let's get this party started.
I agree, Dana. Let's get this party started. So, welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge, and let's talk horror. So today I am joined by the absolutely beautiful, the person I'm so glad to call my friend, Haunted Hippie. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. It's been a while since I've talked about any horror news with my audience or otherwise, so I'm excited to catch up on everything.
Me too. This is going to be a lot of fun. But before we do, I do want to catch up on the chat. Chester is here. What is up? Bradsky is here. Ryan and Cam. Oh, we got a donation already. The team up. So do we. We love this team up too. But it's the first donation. Hate to do it to you, Kylie, but you know it's coming.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby.
Ryan, thank you so much. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to Kylie's channel. She's absolutely incredible. Here is the main channel. So we got your channel and the main channel in the chat, guys. So make sure that you are subscribing if you haven't already. What is up, Noah Music? Hello to you as well. Gory is here. Hell yeah. What's up, Evan? Thanks for stopping in, man. I think Skull Pit Mercenary is from you, Kylie. So what is up? This, just so you know, that's my intro, not Kylie's.
Yeah, I can't take credit for that. I still haven't really, I don't have a put together intro like that.
I just don't want you to be like, oh, what the hell? That was mine. Sorry if I got you excited.
Like, wow, the production quality. Nope. Still nope.
What's up, Terrell? I know. I'm so excited. I'm going to be watching as long as I can because I got the girls tonight, but I'm going to watch Scary Movie as long as I can until the girls start to go, what are they talking about?
Oh, appreciate it.
What's up, Nathan? Thanks, Eric. Me too. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you. Ash is here tonight. She is working, unfortunately, but I'm lucky enough that we get to hang out. You said you might do a horror news. Well, here it is.
Yeah, this kind of fell into our laps because yesterday I texted Ken and I just said, tell Ashley happy Mother's Day. I miss you guys. And he's like, what are you doing tomorrow?
It was just one of those things. I was like, you know what? It's been way too damn long. Let's just do it. Kylie's intro song gives me life. I feel you.
Oh,
I
thanks.
totally feel you. No, don't be sorry for the mix up. But like I said, Kylie's amazing. And I'm honored that you thought that, something I did was cool enough to be something she did. So obviously we're here to talk about.
Sorry, not to
No,
know. I was
you're
just
good.
the reverse. Like you thought that I put together like an intro like that. Thank you.
It's amazing how that works. So today, obviously, we want to talk about some horror news. One thing I want to say beforehand, obviously, we are going to talk about the big thing going on right now. Everything we are going to state about that, especially, is just opinion. Don't be a dick to each other in the chat if people disagree with what we're saying here. Again, it's opinion. That's all it is. We don't got to treat each other shitty if we don't agree. If everybody agreed on everything, this would suck. But the thing I got to talk about first, Kylie, and I'm pretty sure that you'd be okay talking about this first. We finally have a release date for Crystal Lake. It is coming to Peacock October 15th. What are some of your thoughts expectations of the upcoming Crystal Lake TV show?
I know that people feel like the involvement of Harry Manfredini is kind of like a goodwill endorsement kind of a thing. I don't know that I really feel that way just because I'm not sure how much story is really there as a prequel for Friday the 13th. I've always been really interested in the character of Pamela, and I love that she's going to be played by Linda Cardellini. Love her. The cast seems great. But like story-wise, I just don't know. Like the current state of limited series and stuff, I feel like they're going to be stretching a little bit into a lot. And all I can really hope for is just that they give us good vibes, they give us good kills. And I don't think I'll be too hard to please, but I don't think I have like super high expectations or anything. So I don't know. How do you feel?
Well, I'm kind of the same as you. I've always loved the Mrs. Voorhees idea. I've always wanted like a newer film with Pamela being played by Kathy Bates. I'm sure you've heard me talk about that a bunch. I think Kathy Bates would be a perfect Mrs. Voorhees in a Friday the 13th remake. But going young, Linda's such a great choice because we've seen her be, the sweet girl. We've seen her be the caring mother. I don't remember a role seeing her really unhinged. So I'm really excited for her to like spread her wings and, become this unhinged, crazy character. And, just knowing other things too, like they've confirmed we're going to have Crazy Ralph, like something little like that to me is like that's super cool. And we obviously got the picture of the back of Jason's head, so we know that we are going to have little boy deformed Jason. So at some point we are going to have to witness his death. So I'm excited to see how they actually mold that into, like, are they going to stay canon with what we already know about Mrs. Voorhees? Or is this going to be something that's set in its own universe where they can play around and, do different things with her? That's where my most curiosity is coming from, is post Jason death. How much of Mrs. Voorhees are we going to get?
Yeah, I wonder if it's kind of like a, this was the real story underneath the old story all along kind of a thing. And I don't know why the only example I can think of is like Lion King 1.5 with like Timon and Pumbaa. I don't know why, but I wonder if it's going to kind of be something like that. Yeah, I don't know. We haven't really gotten very many details about it. I actually haven't even seen the picture of like Jason's head and stuff. So I wasn't sure like how much of the story was also going to involve like their relationship, which I would be curious about. And yeah, same with Linda Cardellini. I feel like the closest we've gotten to her being unhinged is maybe in the show with Christina Applegate, Dead to Me. That's a pretty fun, dark comedy, dark dramedy. But yeah, we've never seen her all out unhinged as far as I know. So that also is an exciting prospect. That's a good point.
Right. And like I said, anything that has to do with Friday the 13th, like I'm so ready to be back at Crystal Lake. Like it's been so long since we've been, and I'm excited to see if maybe we get the inclusion of Elias Voorhees. Maybe we can finally see Jason's dad in some prospect here. I think that could be something that could be worked into this.
What kind of context do you think that would like add with Jason's dad?
That's what I'm saying. Because the lore has always been what Adam Marcus created anyway, that he wanted to do in Jason Goes to Hell, but he couldn't. One, because illegal, and two, the studio said no. In Jason Goes to Hell, you see the Necronomicon. Like it's out there, it's on the table. The dagger is obviously the Kandarian dagger. And the lore that Adam Marcus wanted to do was when Jason Voorhees died, Elias brought him back with the Necronomicon. And so I'm excited to see how they could interpret something like that into this. Again, with legalities, I don't know. Adam Marcus had to literally borrow Sam Raimi's copy of the Necronomicon for the movie, and they couldn't say the name because a different studio had that name. That's why we see it, but we don't hear a name or anything like that. I would love to see if we could do something like that with Elias being the one to, come in and be like, I need to figure out a way to get my son back. We could do something like that. Doesn't have to be that corny, but something with how we're going to be able to bring Jason Voorhees back into this universe.
I was curious what the chat was gonna say as well as you. Like, what do you actually consider to be the canon surrounding almost any of it? Because, like, you have, Vinny DeSanti with the Never Hike Alone movies, and he is convinced, like, his head canon is that there's a huge paranormal element to Jason, and there always has been, and like here's such and such that proves like that canon. But I think like with Friday the 13th, it's managed to be a very subjective thing. So like, yeah, for me, I don't even know because it is so vast, the franchise, even though I've seen the entire franchise, but at least like 4 times now, I couldn't pick something out and be like, "Oh, this probably would be like the definitive storyline to follow." Like I
Sure.
really frankly don't know like what exactly is considered canon. So, yeah, I'm super curious what like you and the chat think like, what they're gonna
This
follow.
is what I've always loved about Friday the 13th is I feel like 1, 2, and 3 are kind of connected to each other. 4, 5, and
Mhm.
6 are kind of connected to each other. 7, 8, 9, 10 are all their own thing. And then the remake obviously is a combination of 1, 2, and 3.
Mhm.
Um, for me, what I love about Friday the 13th in comparison to most other horror franchises, you don't have to watch part 1 to understand part 7. Logically, each one of these
Mhm.
movies could take place in their own different universe. And that's what I've always loved about it, with the exception, obviously, of the Tommy Jarvis trilogy. I think those are pretty close knit to each other with a little bit of play here and there. I love the fact that 7 could be in its own world, 8 could be in its own world. Like they don't have any connective tissue between those movies. And so I think that that's what's so fun about this franchise. And that's why there's more, in my opinion, more fan films about the Friday the 13th franchise, because there's not really that timeline they have to follow.
Mhm.
He didn't have to have escaped from the mental institution and drove back to Haddonfield. And like, you don't have that. You don't have to have he was, burned alive by the townspeople. And then he came back to get kids in their dreams. And then Nancy took, like, you don't have to follow that. Each one of these movies can be standing on its own legs, and any fan film can stand on its own legs. Cause as long as you have Jason, he's at a lake and he's going to kill people. You can create a Friday the 13th movie that'll make sense to people.
Mhm.
So that's why I think Friday the 13th has always been so special to me, is there's no definitive timeline that you have to follow.
Yeah, so I wonder if like just to keep things simple, if they're mainly going to be following the canon of like at least just the first movie, maybe the first 3. I imagine that would just keep things the most simple.
Right. And I think that would be probably the best way to do it, obviously, because let me see if I can grab it. Do you want to see the picture, or is that something you're kind of waiting on?
No, I do. I do.
Okay.
I might get more details from Harry soon because he's working on scoring Famished right now. So
That's so awesome. And
yeah.
the kid that's playing him in the series, why can't I find this picture now?
Let me see if I can find it.
Okay, I got it.
Oh.
And the kid that's playing Jason is also I can't think of the kid's name right. It's Jackson something. And I think he's gonna do a great job.
I think I remember when that was announced, but I forget the actor that's playing him.
Is this it? Man, this computer does not want to run tonight at all. Nope, that's
Oh, I
not
thought
it.
you
It is, but it keeps trying to save in a different format, so StreamYard won't pull it up. So let me just add a
oh.
.jpeg at the end of this. Let's try this one more again. Fuck, man. And for those of you that don't know, right before we started streaming, it was such a pain because StreamYard was not working. So we were talking like, oh my God. So here's the
Yeah.
back of the head of Jason Voorhees in Crystal Lake.
Ooh.
We obviously are still going to have deformed Jason.
Mhm.
And so that's something that I think is obviously important to the story. But the kid that's playing him, what else was he just in? Callum Vincent, that's his name. And he was just in he was in Winnie the Pooh. Good job, kid.
Not
He
Blood
was
and
just
Honey,
in
right?
no, no.
Okay.
What the heck was he just in? Oh, he was in the Chucky TV series. He was when they were the president, the youngest kid for the president.
Yeah, I just looked him up. Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah,
Wow.
I could
Okay,
remember his face, but I
interesting.
couldn't remember where I seen it from.
He's so
Um,
young. How old is he?
yeah, he's a young kid.
Doesn't say his birthday
Um,
here. But well, I forget like what the canon is, how old Jason was when he died. I thought that he was like 8 or 9
I
or
thought
something.
that's what I thought. Yeah, young, just under 10.
Callum
Um,
Vinson looks like 6 or 7 years old to me.
yeah.
I don't know.
Hell yeah, good job. Hey, thank
Oh
you.
yeah,
That's awesome.
appreciate it.
Hey, we appreciate it very much. Thank you for being here. What's up, Doc? What's up, Adrian? It is, yes. It is primarily surrounded, at least from what we know, around Pamela.
Hmm.
Same. I hope she is too. Yes, tonight Kylie will be streaming Scary Movie, doing a watch along.
Like
Oh
right
my God,
after
we hit a
this.
boot. Where's the foot? I love that movie so much. It's so funny. Okay, so Circle of Death. See, I've never seen Dead to Me. I'm gonna have to check this out. Like you were just
It's a
talking
really
about
good
it. I've never
show.
seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really good.
agreed. Agreed.
Oh yeah, do we know anything about like the rating of the show?
No, that's what I was looking for earlier before we came on, and I couldn't see anything. No, it's usually right there. It's usually in the lore. It's like not that many years after. I know it's weird because he's an adult afterwards, but no, Jason's dad was never mentioned in the films. We know his name is Elias because of comics and fan films, and Adam Marcus himself confirming that the name that he was going to use was Elias. But that's all I know. What's up, Joel? Yeah, I'm sorry you had to go through that. Beefcake Zombies fan film. That would be cool. I would love if they did that.
I would be
Like,
kind of surprised, but
me
that would be
too.
cool.
It definitely would be sick, though. Do you think the new Resident Evil or Passenger will be bad? I hope not.
I don't think so, but I also don't know anything about Resident Evil, so I think I'm the wrong person to ask. Passenger,
Yeah.
just based on like kind of early hype and stuff from critics and things that I've seen, it seems like it's going to be pretty good. But I don't know.
I'm very excited for that.
Me too.
Yeah, that's not going to be showing anytime soon, JDev. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that, Kylie, but my local theater is letting me host Friday Night Frights at my theater this weekend, and we're going to be watching House, my favorite horror movie, and I get to host it, and I get to do like a speech beforehand about why the movie's so important to me, and it's free, just a free Friday Night Frights. The only thing people have to pay for is their refreshments. So if I
That's
catch anybody
super
sneaking shit in,
cool.
I'm going to punch him in the wiener.
Support the
There it
theater.
is. Yes, especially them, because this is a small indie theater. You know, they got 2 screens in the whole place. So, yeah.
That's super
I would like to
cool.
do a band stream. I'm so excited. So excited. What's up, brother? Yeah, no shit. Yeah, he does. He looks like a marshmallow.
Are you talking
I
about
love it,
Captain
though.
Vincent? Or
Yeah, the
the
little Jason.
the head.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, that's a child.
Either that or me. You know, one of the two.
Oh.
We are doing great, thank you. He's 6 or
you.
7.
I still don't know.
I have kids. That's the only reason. Like,
Yeah.
we were actually going to talk about this. That was actually coming up. So you want to just dive into that real quick?
Sure.
Koji Suzuki, creator of the Ring books, passed away. I think that this is, you know, I'm not trying to be like that guy, but without Ringu, J-horror probably does not take off in the United States the way that it did. I think that's a pretty safe thing to say. And obviously, without Koji Suzuki, we don't get Ringu. And I just think it's obviously any death is sad. I mean, that's obvious. But when somebody that really created, and helped create a whole genre in the United States, especially, passes away, it's really cool to be able to have a bunch of fans honor their memory. And I mean, I got to be honest, I got to be transparent. I never read the Ring books. That consists of reading, and I'm lame, and I don't do that. But I mean, it's just like I said, you never want to think about somebody losing their life at any age. So I believe he wasn't too old, 68. I mean, that's
my mom's age.
Not that old. Yeah, that's almost my age. Like, come on now. 20 years and I'm there. Yeah, it's just one of those things where, he obviously lived a very good life, made a change in the horror world, and that's special. That's really special. What is your experience with The Ring or J-horror, Kylie?
Well, I have to be honest, I was never familiar with this author or the books. Like this might have even been the first time that I learned that there were novels that Ringu was based on. But for like the longest time, maybe the first like 3 or 4 years of my channel as well, I proclaimed The Ring to be my favorite horror movie of all time. And it's still way up there for me. Like, I can't remember exactly the first time that I saw it, but I saw it as a teenager. So it was like probably one of the very first paranormal horror movies I'd ever seen. Because I mostly grew up on like Amblin Entertainment type stuff and like 50s sci-fi horror. So it was one of the first more modern horror movies I ever saw, and just was, scared the shit out of me, helped me to fall in love with horror. And so obviously I wouldn't be here without that. That would not be here without this author. So it kind of all traces back to him in a way. So that's my experience.
I still think to this day that it's the scariest PG-13 horror movie. I mean, it just, because I'm with you. Like when I saw it for the first time, it scared the living shit out of me. And I'm in the theater and you got these loud noises that are happening. And this was one of the best jump scares of all time too, that I saw her face and just comes out of nowhere. And this is that movie that can show you don't need to have over gruesome, it's just an idea can be scary enough on its own without pushing any, crazy boundaries. So much love and respect, because like I said, I love a lot of the J horror stuff. So they're saying TVMA is the most. Ugh, sorry, gross.
450. That sounds
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Cries.
Oh yeah,
LA resident.
yeah. It's 489 where I'm at, and I'm still like,
I think for us, I think it went over $6 where I'm at.
I'm sorry.
It's I don't leave my house much.
I am not one of them. The First House is my favorite horror movie of all time. It was my first horror movie. So I always break it up into my favorite modern and my favorite classic horror film. My favorite classic horror film is House from 85. My favorite current horror film is Summer of 84 from 2018. Like, I think that's the only movie that I've ever given a 5 out of 5 on SledgeHammer Horror. Like, that's a perfect movie to me. The J horror virus, and they obviously talked about Suzuki a lot, and he passed away recently. That's just sad. Not me. Nope. That's too much work. The Ring for me is a 1.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Hey, no, that's totally fine.
Different strokes.
And that's exactly it. That's like 180 compared to where I'm at right now. All right, now obviously we got to talk about it. Like, we have to talk about it. And I don't know how Kylie feels about this. We may have completely differing views on this subject. And again, I ask everybody, please be respectful. We are a community first and foremost. Melissa Barrera came out and essentially called anybody that's in Scream 7 scabs that crossed a picket line, and said that she believes the movie conflated their they didn't make as much money as they said that they made. So before I give my opinion, Kylie, where do you sit with her new statements, and what do you make of what she's saying right now?
Okay, I took notes on this so I wouldn't go off on too many tangents, but I might need the floor for a couple minutes here just because there's
Please.
like it's a it's a relatively short statement that came from this interview, but it's like a whole mess of crap exploded from it, right? So it's kind of it's a loaded thing. I for at first I couldn't figure out why she was coming after it so hard because I feel like even recently I've seen clips from about 2 years ago. She did like a Colliders Ladies Night with Perry Nemiroff, and she looked back at the time really fondly. So this isn't like verbatim, but I just kind of like listed down what she said. I revisited it today because I was like, I swore like she was good with it. Like even kind of recently, but she said, I feel like I've gotten closure. My head is clear. I don't feel like I got left in the middle of, she didn't finish that sentence, but like, an arc story, whatever. I was only contracted for 2 movies. So I did my 2 movies and I'm fine. I got 2. That's more than most people get. You can't harp on things. You got to move on. That's the nature of this industry. And then she just expressed like she's excited for the next skin she gets to put on. Like she's excited for whatever role she gets next. And she's like, it was always meant to be 2 movies for me. And I feel like as she processes a very public trauma, like I can only imagine what that was like and like being at the center of that. I can see her feelings changing about it over time as like whatever, but this read as like pretty it seemed weird for her because it seemed pretty unprofessional, which just didn't seem like her, because especially because like your fellow co-stars I don't think are one of your enemies. I personally would never feel comfortable speaking about people that way because you just have no idea what someone's situation is. Like somebody smiling and laughing with their friends walking down the street could be managing 2 parents in hospice at the same time. Like you just don't know. You don't know what other opportunities people have lined up, if any at all. Like you just don't know what's going on. So I would not ever feel comfortable speaking about people that way. And then in the vein of me thinking like, why now? I took a look at her Instagram page and it looks like the day that interview came out, or maybe it was the next day, I don't know. She posted about a documentary that she produced about Palestine, which is like wonderful thing for her to use her influence, money, whatever to do. But I think it seemed just the timing of it all. I don't know. It seems like that interview was part of the promotion for it. And I think to promote it by making inflammatory statements and like burning bridges with old coworkers by throwing them under the bus, I find weird, just to put that lightly. And I also find it very weird to like to make frankly kind of a defamatory statement about like claiming she thinks that they faked the box office numbers. I'm sure that this is a point that's already been made, like because I feel like this is somewhat common knowledge, but I just don't know how someone as far into the industry as she is would ever think that could go over well, because Paramount is a publicly traded company. They can't like it would have to be a conspiracy amongst every studio in the country, if not the world, to pull something like that off and lie about the box office numbers. Like that's just not. And so to me, her saying that borders on feeling like disinformation. I just don't know why she would say that. I do have to say, I don't care about her opinions on the actual movie itself. I don't care if she didn't like it, if she thinks it's nostalgia bait, if she didn't see it. And I also don't begrudge her being a little bit petty. I think everybody's a little petty sometimes, especially with her being so unceremoniously fired. Like she's earned the right to be a little petty with it. I think that's fine. But the other stuff seemed in poor taste and, in my opinion, spoken with less than benevolent intention. It just doesn't seem like productive activism to me to burn bridges with such a wide generalization. And I feel like those generalizations kind of diminish the activism that the Scream 7 cast has done for like I did a brief skim, just kind of looking through everybody, like the LGBTQ plus community, for addiction support, for immigrants. And I just don't think it's right for her to sit there and be like, because you betrayed the thing that I care about, I'm basically going to condemn your entire character. I think is kind of slimy because she knows by now that the internet will take one thing and condemn a person's entire character. She knows, I think, just based on like personal experience, like how black and white things can get. I don't think that she's ignorant to the lack of nuance in these spaces and how rabid her own fan base can get. But you know what? We're all talking about it, so hopefully this means she's going to get a lot of eyes on her documentary. Maybe it's brilliant. At the end of the day, what do I know? And that I've been talking enough. That's enough.
Well, I mean, like you were just talking about her fan base and how they can be. If you remember correctly, Christopher Landon and his children were getting so many death threats, he had to drop off of Scream 7.
That too. Yeah.
Him and his children were. And you know, Scream 7 grossed 207 million worldwide. Variety independently verifies box office gross. So Variety itself during this interview was like, no, don't do that. You know, that's not true. So at the bottom of the interview, they posted this right on the interview. Saying like you know,
checking?
Oh yeah, fact checked it right there. I've always said I hate what happened to Melissa. I hate it. No one should be fired, whether I agree or disagree with their views, unless they're literally stoking a rhetoric that could hurt people. I don't think they should be fired. I think you should have, and that's not talking about freedom of speech. That's not what I'm saying, because that doesn't apply to your job. That's not what the First Amendment is about. But I think as a human being, you should be able to talk about what you believe in without having fear of losing your job. Now, when it comes to her news statements, it really seemed like a lot of sour grapes to me. Like you said, throwing your co-stars under the bus, that's really shitty, especially because some of them publicly expressed they hated what happened to you. Coming out now and saying, well, Jenna Ortega did not leave the movie because of me. That's really shitty to throw Ortega under the bus like that. Like, I thought that really sucked.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yes. And it's one of these things where I'm like, if she's going to be now forever known as the girl that got fired from Scream, and she keeps stoking that. Now, I loved Abigail. I loved Your Monster. I'd love the chance to go see Titanic, Titanic or whatever, however you say it. I'd love that. But what she should have said when they asked these questions was, hey, Scream's in my past. I appreciate what it did for me in my career, but that's not what I'm talking about now. Let's talk about my documentary. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Or she could have been like, I don't like how this happened. But I stood up for what I believed in. I still believe in it. And that leads me to this documentary we're talking about today and why I think this is so important. What she just did, like, it just pisses me off. And like you said, I'm not going to drop any names here because of the recent falling out, and I'm not going to put any more spotlight on it. But when you want to sit here when the Scream 7 boycott was happening and you're a content creator and you want to tell me about how I'm a dick because of the way I look at this boycott, and then you go and you do a whole episode on Hard Eyes and you make money off of Hard Eyes, which was done by the same studio.
Well, now.
And you want to tell me I'm a dick for saying that I don't agree with. It's not that I didn't agree with the boycott. What pissed me off is the people that were spoiling the movie for other people. What pissed me off is the people that were saying, we're going to boycott Scream 7 because I think what they did to Melissa is unfair. That's true. But if you're going to boycott Scream 7 for that, you got to boycott all the things they did, or it doesn't matter. So when you have these big creators that are covering Hard Eyes and then doing episodes on Scream 7 after they said they wouldn't, but because it became the highest grossing film in that franchise, they want to come out and do a Scream 7 episode, subtly throw a jab my way in that episode. So another big fuck you, and make money off of that again. I think that you're a hypocrite, and I think that you're not earnest in what you believe. I think that you put on a show. I think that you're doing what you can to be socially accepted when, if you have a chance to make money off the same thing, you're going to take that chance. At least I came out and said, I'm going to watch Scream 7. I feel for what happened to Melissa, but if you want to make a difference, go and donate to Palestine, go and make a real difference. If you're going to boycott this, boycott Hard Eyes. boycott, Lionsgate, who is the parent company of Spyglass.
Warner
Like
Bros. No.
exactly. So it's one of those things where, and I've gotten to meet Melissa a couple times. I've had it, I'm not saying we're friends. I've had a couple conversations with her at conventions. Such a sweetheart. She was so kind, so awesome. This really sucked for me to read this stuff. And it just goes back to go and fight for your cause. Like, stop. And again, I'm not trying to say get over it, Melissa. Like, that's not what I'm saying. Like, something really shitty happened to you, and it happened on the most public of stages. That fucking sucks. You don't have to get over it, but focus on what you're doing now that's special, not what happened then that sucked. I want to see her overcome this. I want to see her go and be better because of what happened, not be stuck in it.
Yeah, I think
Funny you should say that. Funny you should say that. So it's one of those things where, like I said, just if you're gonna do something, do it with conviction. That's all. That's the last thing I want to say about that.
yeah, I think my last piece would maybe be like I don't think this kind of like inflammatory rhetoric is going to sway anybody. I think people are going to be pretty set, and especially when there's going to be a statement that kind of lacks nuance, like any nuance. You're not bringing anybody new in. I was hoping, if you want to know a little bit of the inside scoop with my Scream 7 review, like I opened it with a little bit of thoughts on like the boycott and stuff, plus like I donated to this Muslim organization, like this pro-Palestine organization, like with the hope that maybe there's people that don't know what's going on. I'm going to kind of gently bring them into the fold. I'm not going to, it just seems more divisive than like inclusive to me. So I don't think that it's going to be very what's it called? Productive. I don't think it's very productive.
No. And it sucks. Like I said, I'll be watching her new movie that's coming out. She just signed on to do a new horror movie. Very excited.
I saw that. I wanted to talk about that as well.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think that she's, I loved her in Abigail. I loved her in Your Monster. I wish we could get these movies into the people's eyes that are not talking about the great things Melissa's done post Scream.
Yeah, because now a lot of people also don't like her, and this is kind of like fueling those people as well. Like, because I went into research it a little bit today and just looking in the comment sections, and there are so many people, like especially in the Scream fandom, that they just hate her. And I don't want the narrative like half the Scream fandom. I love her.
Like I said, I was there for Scream 7 opening night. I'm still comfortable saying it's not a good movie. I loved the first two acts. The third act was so bad that it dropped dramatically in my ranking. But that doesn't mean that like I hate Melissa or I want another human being to fail. Like, I hope she succeeds. I want her to beat all this and come out on top. Yeah. Spyglass tried to ruin me. I beat them and I got better. Like, that's what I want for Melissa. Because like I said, she's just the kindness she showed, not just me, but my wife. My wife had a very good conversation with her, and it was very productive and very just genuine. I want her to succeed probably more than anybody besides her herself. But when you say stuff like this, it makes it so hard for me to root for you.
Yeah, she's well within her right to like process what happened to her, because it happened so publicly, and I can imagine was like, I'm not being facetious. Like, I imagine it literally was traumatizing to some degree. So
yeah,
I hope if there's a silver lining for this, maybe I hope that this was something healing for her to like actually really speak her mind about it. Maybe this will be a good first step to like for her to like actually move on from it, maybe. So
these fingers will remain crossed forever, because I hope that she does. Like I said, I genuinely hope she comes through it stronger and better than ever, because I think she's a fantastic actress. Let's move on to something a little more positive. I think you and I will both be pretty excited about.
Sure.
Quiet Place 3 begins filming, aiming for a summer 2027 release. Did you see who was cast in this movie?
I did not. I was gonna let you tell me about it.
Jack O'Connell, baby. Our boy Jack O'Connell will be in Quiet Place 3.
Stop
and
it.
I know.
Oh,
I'm so excited. I don't mind telling everybody within earshot that's willing to listen to me that I fucking love Jack O'Connell. Everything he's done to me is just gold. I think that I think he's a brilliant actor. Even though I hated Eden Lake's ending, like he's the reason that that movie did so well in my eyes, and it's so memorable before everything. It's just how creepy he was in that movie as that shitty kid. And I also believe that he is the best part of 28 weeks later or 28 years later, the Bone Temple. Obviously Sinners, but here's the man himself. He's going to be a National Guardsman in A Quiet Place 3.
Okay, so the world of A Quiet Place is opening up in a way I didn't really expect then. This is not another prequel situation?
I don't think so. This one, I think, goes right back to all we know so far is this is back with the family from part 1 and 2.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought, but interesting. Okay. So to be honest though, I haven't seen part 2 since it came out, and I was not the biggest fan of that one.
Me neither.
Did you like that movie? Were you big on chapter 2?
No, I didn't like it at all, if we're being honest.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just remember like that they seem to like walk back on the established rules of the universe, just like in terms of volume. I'm sure everybody's already said this, but I haven't talked about that in a long time. I haven't seen it since it came out. So the casting of Jack O'Connell, I think, is a step in the right direction to correct some things, but I am interested in the idea that now there's going to be like the presence of the National Guard, and we're opening up the universe to if the National Guard is around and functional, are things going to be a little bit safer in the universe now? Like, are the aliens being somewhat diminished now? Like, what's going on here?
I was wondering. I'm sorry, I do gotta laugh because, and his name will be Quiet Jimmy. That's fucking brilliant. But yeah, he just like that's what I'm excited about. But you also got to figure, not only do we have him added into this, we still have Cillian Murphy that's Emmett. So these two will be back together in this movie. So, and again, Cillian Murphy, another guy that I think is a very underrated actor. I know that a lot of people love him, obviously, but I don't think that people really get how much of an amazing actor he is, and everything he does is just gold to me.
His filmography is diverse.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is going to be a sequel to part 2 from what I'm seeing here. John Krasinski is listed in the cast, but I'm assuming it'll be from flashbacks or something like that, because he's very dead.
He's
he's super, super dead.
He's not around.
Yeah. He ain't coming back.
Yeah.
But and now from what I've heard, I don't know how true this is. A third 28 years later is not confirmed anymore after the Bone Temple did what it did. And if that's the case, I'm going to be pissed, because I thought the Bone Temple was fucking awesome.
That was a perfect film for me. I remember, didn't we text immediately after it? We were like in our group chat with Cody, and he was like, I guess I'm not as high on it as you two are. I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yep. We were like, yes, about that, Cody, because it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, you and I were the two that were like, yes. And he was like, it's all right.
Okay, pipe down. That's okay.
Yeah.
My dad is in the chat. He liked the Bone Temple. That's where I get my good taste from.
Is that him?
That's my dad. There's Father Hippie.
How you doing, sir? Yep. Papa Hippie. Love it. See, now they're saying here, despite the second film, the Bone Temple struggling at the box office, Sony is moving forward with the third film following positive audience reception. Like, that movie was so good. Yeah, right here,
Mhm.
deadline. 28 years later, part 3 moves forward with Cillian Murphy. Okay.
When was
Good.
that reported? What's the date on that?
That is December. Fuck. That's 6 months ago.
Oh, that is 6 months ago. Oh my god.
I
I
know.
was like, that's recent. Oh god.
So 28 years later, part 3. It's still saying that Alex Garland's writing. It's still got an IMDb page, which we all know doesn't really mean anything. Heavily
Does it say-
suggested that part 3 will fill certain gaps about Cillian Murphy's character Jim after the events of 28 Days Later, using the graphic novel series 28 Days Later Aftermath as assistance.
I'm sorry, the what?
Okay. Yeah, the comic book series.
I was completely unaware.
That's dope. After overwhelming positive test screens at the Bone Temples, it's still saying that Sony decided to go green light it and is expected to start filming in March 2026. Well, we know that hasn't happened. So,
Okay. I think like because I was under the impression for the longest time that this was being presented as a trilogy. Like I always thought that it was for sure 3 movies. I thought it was already like confirmed. They were contracted for 3 movies. Like that was the impression that I got. And so I imagine a lot of people maybe didn't go to the Bone Temple because they're like, well, maybe I'll catch up on that one. And, the other 28 years later, maybe I'll rewatch that when the final one is coming out or something. I think they'd be leaving money on the table not to capitalize on like not the final, but they could market it as the final installment of the franchise, like the last movie with Cillian Murphy, kind of like Jamie Lee Curtis and the Halloween trilogy. Like they easily could market it that way. I don't understand that.
I've always been very, very hard against announcing a trilogy before the first film's out. They did it with The Strangers, and like it just wait and see how the first film performs before you decide what you're going to do with the rest of it. And I've never been a fan of it because, especially with a movie like The Strangers or a movie like Five Nights at Freddy's, which we knew we were getting a trilogy for, who's safe and who isn't. There's really no stakes when I know there's a trilogy. So that's what bums me out. And I do agree. I think that 28 years later, as of right now, is still probably my favorite film of the year.
Am I like being Mandela affected though? Was it not announced as a trilogy initially?
It was.
Okay.
It was. And I'm actually pretty sure that you and I did a news thing on that when it first happened. That
Probably.
This was announced as a trilogy. So let's try one more thing. 28 years later, 3 canceled. As of May 2026, the third film is not officially canceled, but its future is uncertain and in limbo due to poor box office performance of the second film. While initially planned as a trilogy, Sony has slowed down development on the final installment following the second film's underperformance. Fuck.
I just think that's so crazy. Like you have Cillian Murphy, who obviously is along for the ride and would be signed up for it. Alex Garland writing. Did you happen to see if on IMDb did it still say if like Danny Boyle was directing or?
Oh, it said that Alex and Danny were in on it together. That's all it said. It didn't say, but I'm assuming he would be directing if Alex is writing.
I mean, if that trio, like those 3 men at the minimum, if they can't sell a finale to 28 years later, then I don't know what that means for the rest of us.
See, and I agree right here. The whole trilogy. You know what I mean? Like it's you don't do that. Like that to me is fucking stupid. Like I've never been a fan of that. And when we're talking about this, look at how great the Bone, because I liked the first 28 years later enough. I hated the ending. I hated that tonal shift. Obviously, it made sense once you actually watched the Bone Temple, which is what they were going for. But with the Bone Temple being so damn good, like I gotta have closure to this series. Like I gotta know, especially we finally got Jim back. I need to know what happens now.
Same.
So we somebody in the chat brought this up. So Terrifier 4 will take place on New Year's Eve. So here's my question to you: Do you think this picks up directly after the events of Terrifier 3?
Oh God, I'm gonna need like a brief refresh on the actual ending of Terrifier 3 because I haven't seen it since it came out.
The niece gets sucked down to hell, and we see Art
Yes.
on a bus at the end of Christmas.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh, I feel like I'm not totally equipped to answer this because I have only seen Terrifier 3 the one time, so I'm not gonna be able right now to pick like, oh, this detail might mean this. So maybe I could just kind of speak to like what I would like to see. I would imagine because we're going from Christmas to New Year's that it's going to pick up pretty directly because there's only like a week between the two. But I would like to see some kind of New Year's celebration. Like I want it to feel grand in scale. And I think it would be fun if there were fireworks at this celebration and if we saw Art tying a bunch of body parts to the fireworks and the matter raining down on party goers, I think would be really fun. Either that or some sort of like recreation of the New York ball dropping and splattering on people, something like that. I want a massacre at a New Year's party. I want a severed arm to turn the punch bowl red. Something like that.
And that's and what I love about this is at first Damien was saying Terrifier 4 is going to be the end of the Art the Clown story. That's going to be the end of the Art the Clown story. And I'm like, fuck. So he's going to continue it on with a part 5, like a new beginning, and then come back to Art the Clown for 6. Yeah. But now he's coming out saying this is the end of Terrifier. Like, this is it. This is the last one. I'm done doing Terrifier after this. I mean, at least for now, that's what he's going to say. And, we'll see how, he holds up with that. Because obviously it's still making money. Terrifier is still making money. It's still doing the damn thing. So if we have the chance to still make money off it, will he maybe move on to something else? Maybe he is one of those guys that's like, I don't just want to be known my whole career as being the guy that did Terrifier. I want to be able to do other things and create other things. So what do you think about the idea of the fourth one, the finality of it, of this being the end?
I might enjoy the idea of it being the final movie for Sienna because no final girl ever gets to rest. I've been saying the same thing about Sydney and Gail. Like, go be safe, go away, move on, because that's just what I want for my final girls, but they never get to rest. I would enjoy the idea of like her arc closing. I really can't say that I would want it to be the last Terrifier movie. I hate to pigeonhole David Howard Thornton here, but I think the work he does is just so incredible. I'd be lying if I said I wanted that to end, if I'd be okay with that ending. I would like it to keep going, quite frankly, even if the quality of the movies gets worse as they go.
Right. So the quality can't get much worse than 1.
Well, yeah.
So I mean, like, I think that as long as we have David and we have Damien, they're going to be able to do something with Art. Yeah.
Has Damien ever like branched out into anything else? As far as I'm aware, it's just been Terrifier, right? So yeah. But he wants it to be done. But he's never I haven't really seen him like tease at anything else that he's interested in. Have you?
No. The only thing I've seen him tease is he would love to do Friday the 13th. That's what he said. He would love to do a new Friday the 13th film. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess, at this point, I don't give a shit who's directing a new Friday the 13th film. If I get Jason back, I'm in. But Damien would obviously be top of the list.
Okay.
For me, at least, seeing that type of brutal Jason.
Yeah, that would be enough for me because I was thinking of kind of like the contrast in the characters between Art the Clown and Jason, but I think, as long as there's the Leon level gore, I'm good with it. Do you need a moment?
Yeah. Can you talk for a second? In all transparency, this is my daughter. She just chipped her tooth. I'm going to check on her, make sure she's okay. And,
okay.
So I'll be right back.
Yeah. Wow. Alrighty. Unfortunately on my end, I can't pull your comments up on screen because this is Ken's stream officially. Let's see. The third film takes place on Christmas. I'll say the film would pick up either before New Year's Eve or on New Year's Eve. I think it's probably gonna be before. I think that there's probably gonna be a couple days of lead up in all the events, and it's gonna be sort of like a well, it's gonna be sort of like those rom-coms that are like New Year's Eve and Valentine's Day, where it's like a bunch of seemingly unrelated stories that all end up kind of coming together by the end, or you find out that like this character is the mom of that character, whatever. I think it's not that it's gonna be like to that extent, but I do think it's gonna kind of be like Terrifier 3 also kind of followed this formula as well, where it's like we follow Art separately and Sienna and Elliot separately, whatever his name is. And then I think there will be like the crescendo, the big climax is going to be like on New Year's Eve. We were just kind of musing about
I was listening, and at first you sounded. I don't know if you know, but I grew up in a very, very Hispanic household, and you were totally giving me Spanish soap opera vibes there for a second. When you're like, and then this person you find out is the mother. I was like,
oh,
orale. You know, like
yeah,
yeah, she's good. When my daughter was quite a bit younger, her and I were at a campground, and I was teaching her how to use a scooter for the first time, and she ended up falling and knocking one of her teeth completely out, and it was one of her adult teeth. So we had to go and get a new tooth put in, and she was just trying to get her laptop for school unplugged. It was stuck, and when she pulled, it came unstuck and popped her right in the mouth and just chipped it a little bit. So, super chats. Need to fix my daughter's tooth. Totally joking.
Yeah, is she okay? She's not in pain.
No, she's fine. She's tough. She's her mother's daughter. Now, we talked about some other cool things. This is the one thing I'm really wanting to talk about. I got my One Wish Willow right here. Obsession. Now with a 97% Rotten Tomatoes score, is the best reviewed wide release movie across any genre. So here's your One Wish Willow. You make a wish, you break it. Me and Ashley will be doing a short about this. Hopefully one of us doesn't become...
Oh, wait, you're muted.
There. I would say hopefully one of us doesn't become obsessed with the other one's favorite horror icon after using this. But it's just one of those things where I'm so excited. I've been a fan of Curry, ever since he was doing... Oh, man, I was totally joking. Don't do that, guys. I very much appreciate it, Eric. Seriously, thank you so much. Like, genuinely, thank you. It was a joke. It was a total joke. I hate people that beg for donations. That's not me. That will never be me. That'll never be SledgeHammer Horror. The fact that you're here watching and you're supporting me and you're supporting Kylie, that means the world to me. Seriously, it was a joke. If it really came across that I was trying to be thirsty, I apologize. But thank you very much for the donation. When I see that you have somebody like Curry that's done, like I've been a fan of his comedy on TikTok and on Instagram for so long. Like the stuff he did was so funny. And Kylie, I'm going to sound like a broken record to you because you've heard me say this 1,000 times. I feel like when you have a really good comedian work their way into horror, it works so well because comedy and horror are both all about timing. If your timing is not right in horror, it's not scary. If your timing is not right in comedy, it's not funny. So you get Zach Kreger, you get Jordan Peele. Now we get Kurt, these guys that are such great and funny comedians coming in and doing these horror movies that are so successful and so well loved throughout the community. I think that it's such an amazing feeling as somebody who loves comedy and loves horror to see these guys come through and succeed. And again, this is not factually driven. This is just a SledgeHammer opinion. But what are your expectations of Obsession, seeing that it's the highest reviewed wide release across any genre, not just horror? What does that do for your expectations? Does that make you a little bit worried that maybe we're gonna over that's my big fear now, is that I'm gonna what's the word I'm looking for? Do it in my head and overhype. Yeah, I'm gonna overhype it in my head. And it's going to come out. I'm like, that was all right.
Yeah, there's always the chance for that. And there's also always the slim chance that like the critics and the audiences are gonna be on just like they're gonna be in completely different places in terms of their reception. I guess that's not even that unlikely that just is a thing that happens, but I don't know. Like as much as we tend to kind of rag on critics for being dogmatic or for being snobby, they generally steer us in the right direction. Like for the most part, we kind of end up being on the same page. I don't know. They could be overselling it a little bit. I always try to walk in with neutral expectations regardless. I feel like the last movie where I really allowed myself to get fully swept up by the early positive reception was for Sinners, and I was like going into it thinking this is about to be a new masterpiece, because that's just like how it was being sold by everybody. So for
Right.
this one, I don't know. I've kept myself really in the dark. I don't watch trailers. So, I have seen Milk and Cereal, but that was a couple years ago now, I think. I think that was like 2
It's
years ago
crazy to think it's
now.
been that long ago.
Yeah, so I actually forget a lot about that movie. I just remember really enjoying it. I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd, and I, remember I was just, like, blown away by the creativity, so I do think I can have faith that no matter the budget, he can do a lot with a little. So I'm inclined to favor the hype. I think I'm gonna buy into it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too, and especially because he's already got his next movie it's already working right now. It's already casted, it's already filming, and then after that, he's already been tagged as the director for the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. Yeah,
I'm behind, clearly.
yeah, yep. Curry's
What?
he's already been announced as he'll be doing the next Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, and his next film, which is more of a comedy, though. Let me get this up here. I'm not trying to look over what Obsession is. Anything but Ghosts is what it's called, and it's more of a comedy than it is a horror, from what they were saying.
Right.
So it's one of those things where I think that obviously I think that Curry's done a lot of great things, but I'm worried they're feeding him too much. I don't want him to get burned out and nervous and overexert himself when he's just finding his footing with his first movie being released. But we'll
He's pretty
see. Like I
young
said,
though,
I think.
right?
Oh yeah, he's born in '99, so he's
He's
27.
my age? Oh my
Yeah.
god. Okay, whatever.
Now I really feel old. I'm like, yeah, good job, guys. Way to go, kids.
Ugh. I'm like, I hope I can direct my first feature by the time I'm 30.
You will.
Ugh.
You're gonna kill it too. So I know that you have a watch along here in a little bit. I got to get the girls a bath before, not the big one, obviously, the little one. Before that, so one thing I want to talk about before we go is, have you heard anything about Backrooms yet?
Not really. I know that they already greenlit a sequel, or
Well,
the director's been talking about it.
Yeah, Kane Parsons says he already has an idea for a sequel and a potential limited series. I think that this is going to be the surprise movie of the year. It's going to be like Barbarian, where it's going to totally exceed expectations. It's going to totally kill the box office, just like Iron Lung did. Because this started as a YouTube thing too. With Kane Parsons. Like, the reason I'm so excited for this film, for those that know Ken Sledge, I have an 18-year-old son, and he does a lot of found footage films, and he's about to, he's really excited for Backrooms. And it was so funny because he asked me, he's like, hey, would you premiere our next movie on Sledgehammer Horror? I was like, yeah, that's fine. He's like, but don't tell anybody I'm your son. I was like, well, there's a couple things here. One, you look just like me. 2, it's gonna be kind of weird when they see written, directed, and starring Kenny Sledge the fourth. I'll be like, yeah, never met him. Don't know nothing about him. But so yeah, my son's first short that they actually are doing all found footage all on their own. We're gonna premiere on our channel later this year. And I'm very excited about that. But
Oh, you must be
Kim
proud.
Parsons is only 20 years old.
Yeah, again, whatever. Okay. All right, all these fetuses directing feature films for studios, it's fine.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, geez, man, you haven't even been out long enough to know anything. How the hell are you directing already? It's just, and to me, like, I love, like, genuinely, and this is, you used one of my favorite words earlier. I'm not being facetious when I say this. I love when I see younger people dominating in horror, when I see younger people that are keeping horror going. That's special to me, because that's something I'm always so afraid of, is that horror is going to die out because the younger generation isn't going to give a shit about it. But then I see people like Kane Parsons that's 20 years old, and I genuinely think about to make a huge hit movie. And I don't know if you know this or not, but shit, what's the cat's name that did Iron Lung? Markiplier. When Markiplier exceeded the box office and he made so much money, do you know what he did with the extra money?
Yeah, he gave bonuses to his crew, right?
Isn't that fucking awesome?
Yes,
Like,
it should be.
Damn, dude, like, you hear these things and it's like, why can't more people be that generous in that? I didn't know Markiplier. I didn't watch him when he did the Five Nights at Freddy's stuff. I didn't watch him when he was getting started on YouTube. But how the hell can you not root for a guy like that?
Right.
Wasn't the biggest fan of the movie.
Yeah, I wanted to see a little bit more discipline in the edit. It needed to be trimmed down quite a bit, but I was here for it. It was all right.
Like I said, good for him. Like, I'm glad that he did something. Okay, West, you guys are killing me with this. Backrooms 2 featuring soundtrack by the Backroom Boys. But yeah, I'm glad that it was such a success for him.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I know that you're going to be getting ready for your watch along. Is there anything you wanted to add about this or about another subject?
I mean, I have like a bunch that are just like snippet things, just like new announcements. They've teased us once again with Happy Death Day 3. It just was like another interview with Jessica Roth. Did you see that? You just gave a big sigh.
Yes. It's not even a sigh about like, it's a sigh because, like, I want it so bad. Like, I want this so bad. And did you see Affection?
No, I wanted to. It opens when does that open? Oh, it opened a couple days ago.
Yeah. Last Friday.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it.
Jessica Roth is amazing in it. As always. She's everything advertised for.
Is it not great?
It's one of those movies that, and I don't mean this disrespectfully at all, it tried so hard to confuse you that it just irritated you, if that makes sense. It's like, there's so many things that don't add up at all when you actually start to really think about the movie. It's not like a bad watch. Like, the little girl in the movie was insanely good. Like, so damn good for being such a young lady. Like, she was so damn good. But it was just one of those things where it was like, how did this happen if this is what's going on here? Like, once you started to really sit down and think about it, you were like, everything just fell apart, and now I'm kind of pissed off.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies like that where they like try so hard to keep you off kilter and like where you don't know what's going on, that like the movie itself forgets to know what's going on. So
yeah, that's the best way to put it. It's like they wanted to do 10 different things at once when they should have just focused on one and made it really, really good. Like, focus on the one really good thing you could do. Like, the cast is great, but the more that you watch, like, the more you start thinking about it, the more you start poking holes in certain things. And you're like, where did this come from? How did that end up being a part of her life. Like, it just doesn't, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it, but after you do, I mean, I think it's worth the watch. I don't think you'll be pissed. You know, you're not going to be like, fuck, I wish I wouldn't have watched that. But I think that you'll be like, you might feel the same way as me, or you might be like, wow, that was super dope. Yeah, but I don't see a universe where you would be like, this sucks.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll keep it on my watch list then. But yeah, that actually was mentioned in this Bloody Disgusting article where she was interviewed, and for this has got to be like the 5th time. She's like, I want to tell the fans, thank you for your patience. We're working on it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. We're all excited. It's different than the other 2 films, but that's all we ever get, like, over the years. It's been
I've heard this song before, Jessica.
Yeah. So, not really an update, but like it is nice to know, it's comforting to know that they are intent on making it happen, because I want that trilogy to be concluded so bad.
Me too.
Yeah, everything else is like what? I'm sorry.
I said part 2 made me cry like a baby.
Oh yeah, I don't think I've actually seen it since it came out. It's been because of the I remember why. Yeah, I know why.
That shit. I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah. It's sweet. It's sweet. But yeah, okay, everything else is just like a 1-sentence thing. Apparently Liam Hemsworth is going to be in a Ridley Scott produced action horror called They Like the Dark, which is interesting. We've got this one just feels like a Mad Libs to me. Priyanka Chopra Jonas and Orlando Bloom to star in survival thriller Reset. Okay. Hocus Pocus 3 is in development with all the original cast, so that's cool.
And getting a theatrical release.
Oh, really? Oh,
yes.
Okay. That's so exciting, because the second one was not.
No, straight to Disney Plus.
Right.
Yes,
okay.
This one,
that's exciting.
They are planning a theatrical release. That was one that I did want to talk about as well. As you know, Ashley's a huge, giant Hocus Pocus fan.
Oh, yeah.
Hocus Pocus 3 moving forward at Disney will be getting a theatrical release. All 3 witches will be reprising their roles.
Oh, that's so good to hear. I'm here for it.
Yep.
We've also got Ari Aster. His next directed film, I guess, has been announced with Scarlett Johansson in it. It's called Scapegoat. And plot details are under wraps, so I don't think we really know anything about it. We have Sophie Thatcher. She's going to be in Jennifer Kent's next movie, the Babadook director. It's going to be a sci-fi tale called The Girl Who Was Plugged In. I'm sure that's going to be amazing. And yeah, that's about it. Melissa Barrera in an upcoming movie called Inhabit. Kind of already chatted about that. Yeah, that's about all I got. So, yeah.
She is going to be in a new film called Man or Bear, and it is what's got me excited about this is it's directed by the same person, Teresa Sutherland, that did Lovely Dark and Deep, and I really liked Lovely Dark and Deep.
Did I watch that? I gotta look on my Letterboxd. I need to refresh.
Georgina Campbell, she's a park ranger.
Yes, wait, I think I did see that. Oh, did I? I didn't. I didn't. Actually,
ooh, you got to check that one out. I liked that one a lot.
Oh, okay. I think I didn't watch it because I mostly didn't hear good things. Oh yeah, it's on my watch list. I still haven't. It's on Tubi. If anybody wants to watch that.
I mean, it's one of those ones that, like I said, it's not groundbreaking. It's not gonna, blow your mind or anything like that. But I liked it a lot. I thought it was a fun watch. Son of a bitch.
Watch. Oh, we didn't talk about the new Blair Witch either.
Dylan, I love the fact that the original filmmakers and the original cast are coming back to be producers on this.
Yeah,
like that's good for me. I that's a really, really good sign for things moving forward, because they were always pissed about the way things happened before. So for them to be able to come back on this, I think that things have been made right for them.
Yeah, I wonder do you think that was like in response to that, them being disgruntled? Or...
I think it had to be, because I mean, they were very vocal about the fact that we were kids when we made this, and they completely fucked us by using words in contracts that we didn't understand. And they were able to take a lot of money from us because of that. And
Yeah,
I
didn't
think
they make like no residuals or something?
nothing.
Like they didn't make anything off of it, which is
And
insane.
for all the money that movie made, like that sucks. Like that really sucks.
Yeah, that is insane. They are the movie. Like
Yes.
and it's because a lot of it is like largely improvised as well, right? So
Yeah.
like that's cuckoo.
Wait, is the new Blair Witches produced by Blumhouse?
What?
Is that what somebody in the chat is saying right now?
Maybe I mean I just rattled off a bunch of things, so maybe they're talking about a different movie.
Happy
but
Death Day.
oh yeah, but that hasn't been formalized.
But see, my thing is right here, and I do want to say this, like, I don't think the last Blair Witch movie, 2016, I didn't think that was that bad. Like,
The new Blair Witch movie is being produced by Lionsgate in partnership with Blumhouse and Atomic Monster. Okay.
it's just, man, here's the thing. Blumhouse movies like that, they are either super hit or super miss. Like that's the thing for me. Like
The last hits for me, I would say, is like Halloween trilogy. There's a little bit of mess there. The Invisible Man, and I don't know what other franchise have they touched that's been
I liked The Black Phone.
Oh yeah, but that's not like a revival of,
Oh yeah, for sure.
I was trying to think of like the franchises they've revived.
Nothing really. But I mean, Obsession is Blumhouse production.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. That seems more like indie than what they've been up to as of like the last.
Well, I think what it was they ended up buying production rights on it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I think that was the big thing with this. Blumhouse's packed 2026 schedule featuring what? Black Phone 2 wasn't this year, was it?
That was last October, wasn't it?
Yeah. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 was last year. This thing is stupid. Lee Cronin's The Mummy was Blumhouse. Insidious Out of the Further, Obsession, and then a game-inspired Grave Seasons is another one coming out this year.
I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, but see, there's other movies, like you said, that there's some movies that Blumhouse did that's just like, ugh, like Wolfman, Drop. Was not a fan of either one of them.
Yeah. My dad made the point, at least they keep horror in the pipeline. This is true. They have a good model and they keep horror in theaters. That is something we can count on. This is true.
And that's very possible, because like even if I hate a movie, if horror's thriving, hell yeah. That's all I care about. Even if I disliked it, if a bunch of other people liked it, I'm really glad they did because it's keeping horror alive for a lot of other people.
Yeah, it's keeping it afloat for the next good one, at least.
Right.
So, but yeah, pretty hit or miss.
All right. Well, yeah. I again, Kylie, want to thank you for so last minute being willing to come on and do this with me, even though you are going to be doing another live here in about 40 minutes. So make sure if you're here from Sledgehammer Horror, make sure you are going over to Haunted Hippies channel. Make sure you are hitting that subscribe button and make sure you are joining tonight for the Scary Movie watch along. Come on, guys, we're getting ready for Scary Movie 6. Like we got to be ready. So we got to catch up on these movies. So make sure you're doing that. As always, Kylie, if you wouldn't mind, hang out for a second. I do got a couple more questions for you. Everyone else, if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. It does help build the channel more than you know. And follow Sledgehammer Horror on social media. Those links are in the description as well. But until next time, keep talking horror, stay what you are, and we'll see you guys soon.
Bye.